During 13 years of its being in office, Labour Party dropped more bombs on the oppressed people than the Conservatives did in the previous 18 years during Mrs. Thatcher and John Major. Because Labour Party dropped bombs, do the people who are victims of this bombing feel less hurt because they come from the beloved Labour Party or the opportunists, Trotskyites and revisionists? Labour Party has been a bloodthirsty party of imperialism which has waged war against the people at home and waged wars against people abroad. It's time that if you want to build a movement in this country of the working class, you broke all contacts and connections with the Labour Party. There is only one way of celebrating the October Revolution, and that is the fight for socialism. That is the fight against the cuts that the government is trying to impose on working people. It is a fight against homelessness. It's a fight against bad education for working class kids. It's a fight against bad health service for working class people. It's a fight against racial discrimination and racial hatred. It's a fight to create a world where human beings can live like human beings. If you want human beings to behave like human beings, give them the material conditions that are fit for human beings. And that's the point. We do not simply celebrate the October Revolution as some archaic thing in the past. We do not simply honor Stalin and burn incense around him and bow to him and kneel before him. No, there are lessons to be learned from the teachings of Stalin, from the teachings of the October Revolution, from the great masters of revolution. You know, you cannot, my son is a doctor, you cannot learn medical science without reading people who have made great contribution to the development of medical science. Well, how would you actually expect to be involved in the most complicated of sciences, the science of making revolution, without resorting to the writings and teachings of the great masters of revolution? The very people who tell us, oh, Marx wrote that 150 years ago, isn't that old hat? And they go the following day to the temple or the church and go and preach the Bible. Is Bible much newer than Marxism? If you can actually believe in virgin birth, surely Marx's teaching is perfectly straightforward. And even those who do not believe in virgin birth believe in bourgeois economics. Quite honestly, there was a time when humanity starved because there wasn't enough food around. Today, humanity starves because humanity has produced too much food. And yet the bourgeois economists, while tolerating that, will tell us that Marxism is dead. No. Their bourgeois economics really is such, and again I repeat something I've said many times, compared with which voodoo magic and belief in virgin birth are almost the achievements of highest of science. If you can believe in this system, you can believe in any voodoo magic and any virgin birth and any miracles that happen. So, comrades, to intensify our battles, I shall finish my speech by pronouncing a number of slogans, which I hope will meet with your approval. Eternal glory to all those heroes who fell in the fight against fascism. Eternal glory to the great and glorious USSR. Eternal glory to the great October Socialist Revolution. Eternal glory to Marxism-Leninism. Eternal glory to that fearless friend of the working class and an intrepid fighter for socialism, Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin. Down with imperialism and all its variants, including fascism. Thank you for your patience in listening to me.
Very good. to add a couple of remarks to that, but one of the things that struck me the other day was that they're taking £80 billion in cuts in order to try and save British capitalism over the next 4 years. Actually, if they demanded of just the 1,000 richest people in this country 25% of their assets, said please hand those over, those people who are stinking rich, even after handing over 25% of their assets, would still be stinking rich, and 25% of their assets would be exactly equal to the amount that they're snatching from welfare and taking people's jobs away. But of course, nobody asks the rich to pay this money, and they don't ask it, well, partly because the governments are here to represent the rich, but partly also because however much money was paid over, the crisis would remain. It would remain the fact that the system is impoverished people so much that they can't produce the mass of goods and services that the rich are asking us to buy. They've impoverished not only people, they impoverish whole countries who are unable to buy, and this is why we've got a crisis. And one thing that struck me as Harpal was speaking, of course, is that crisis sooner or later develops into war. The various imperialist powers start fighting each other or fighting whoever they see as most threatening them. They've already been at war against Iraq and Afghanistan. I call those cowardly wars because those countries aren't in a position to come and drop bombs on London. Even Iran, if they attack Iran, which is probably their next objective, Iran won't be in a position to come and drop bombs on London. But another target that they are considering, and the one that's really threatening their interests, is China. China is extremely successful, and what's more, China is taking over the markets that the imperialists had to themselves in Africa and Latin America and in Asia. But the Chinese go and they offer these people decent terms. They offer them contracts, but at proper prices and not exploitative prices, and of course people will go with China and not go with Western imperialism. But that does mean that China is under threat. It does mean, for instance, that the elections that have currently been held or just been held in the United States, the slogan of the Republicans was that Obama is selling your jobs to China, and it was specifically China that was targeted. So if we don't want war, against people who hit back as well, it is our duty to bring socialism in order to prevent war. This is another thing, that we can see what happened and the misery that was caused in the last crisis when war ensued. Well, this will all happen again unless we're in a position to stop it, and that means a great deal of extremely hard work. And in doing that hard work, well, I would like to just give one word of thanks to the Korean people, because they show us that imperialism is, as Mao Zedong said, it's only a paper tiger. If a small, tiny country like Korea can stand up and hug to its chest its achievements under socialism, I refuse to let them go, and fight with courage and bravery. If Korea can do it, you can do it too. So come on.